Hello everyone, this is Fun Exonics, and today I thought I would go ahead and discuss the hardest areas in each of the 3D Mario games. I know I talked about the overall difficulty, ranking the games by overall difficulty, but this time I'm going to talk about a specific area that I believed was the hardest. This could be the area had the hardest enemies, it took me the longest to complete, and overall difficulty throughout the area with the objectives and the stars that you collect throughout the level, and overall obstacles that you encounter while going through that particular area. So with that being said, let's get started. Starting with Mario 64, this isn't going to be that much of a shock, but TikTok Clock was definitely the hardest area for me. Just overall, because one, you have to deal with the fact that the time you go in to the area, the time you go into the quote-unquote painting, which is really just a clock gate, depends on the time the hands are on, is how fast or how slow the movement of the clock is going to be. And you can't always have it off, because then there are stars where you need the platforms to be moving, like Stomp on the Thwomp, for example. Stomp on the Thwomp was the hardest star in Mario 64 in my opinion, and is without a doubt why it makes this the most difficult area. There's a lot of platforming in this area, along with some very annoying enemies that will get in the way. And you also have to be cautious with, how you approach the platforms, because the platforms are going to keep moving, and to progress throughout the level, you need the platforms to move to get to the top of the area, to get to the hand where it moves you to the thwomp. And overall, yeah, this area was just not a fun time to go through, and it is the hardest area of Mario 64 to me, because looking at it, the other areas of Mario 64 weren't really that difficult to me. I can usually complete every star in first try, but it seems like every time I replay through Mario 64, I always have an issue with TikTok Clock. So that is why TikTok Clock is the hardest area in Mario 64. Moving on to Mario Sunshine, the hardest area in the game for me, I would have to say, is Pianta Village, due to the fact that it's technically the last area you will encounter in the game. And also, looking at the other areas, there weren't really that difficult overall. When you're trying to go to the secret star, there's platforming you have to do to get with Yoshi, and I don't know what it is with this section, but Yoshi's controls just feel awful to me in this section. And also, there's the one where you have to move the chain chomp into the waterfall in the back, and sometimes it can be pretty annoying. Same thing with the little chain chomps, trying to get them into the water. I don't know what it is, but the stars that this game has you do is pretty damn annoying. And also the star where you have to traverse through this entire area of poison, because if you touch it, then it's pretty much instant death, because it's very hard to get out of. And yeah, you can go underground, but it's still a pain. And Pianta Village is the level where similar to TikTok Clock in Mario 64, I just have an issue going through it. So that is why I think the hardest area in Mario Sunshine is Pianta Village. Moving on to Mario Galaxy, the hardest area in the game for me was the Melty Molten Galaxy, due to the fact that overall the Melty Molten Galaxy is what gave me the most trouble. It wasn't actually the motion controls, because while they were difficult to me at first, I play Galaxy so much to the point where I can get those motion control levels done in a few tries. But Melty Molten's stars, especially the prankster comment where you have to go through pretty much the whole level without getting hit one time, and there are a lot of times where you can get hit, and this star typically always takes me about 4 to 5 tries. No matter how many times I do it, it always just feels that it has something to do with luck instead of actual skill, and I don't like that. I don't like how there's just luck involved rather than skill that you have to do. And also there's the Fiery Dino Piranha Star, which also can be pretty difficult, especially with the timing to hit the tail. And also in Galaxy, I never really thought the levels overall were that difficult, but Melting Molten Galaxy always just felt like it gave me the hardest time with. Unlike, you know, what people say Luigi's Purple Coins. Luigi's Purple Coins is not hard. It's I would say it's slightly difficult at most. But anyways, yeah, Melting Molten Galaxy is the hardest star in the game for me, especially with that ball rolling section at the end of one of the stars, where you have to traverse through lava, which I also think is a cool idea because you don't see the ball going through lava ever again in the game. So yeah, Melting Molten Galaxy is for me the hardest area in Super Mario Galaxy. Moving on to Mario Galaxy 2, this is not a surprise at all. It is the Grandmaster Galaxy in Galaxy 2, which features the perfect run, because Galaxy 2, in my opinion, is very like I said when ranking overall difficulty, Galaxy 2 was definitely a lot more easy for me than Galaxy 1, especially when it came to prankster comments and all that. But overall, yeah, the perfect run is the reason why the Grandmaster Galaxy is up here on this list, because there's not really any galaxies that I would say are particularly, you know, super difficult. So, you know, the perfect run doesn't really need an explanation. If you play Galaxy 2, you know. The perfect run is a star where you have to go through a entire level full of obstacles without getting hit a single time. And this ranges from using Yoshi to avoid bombs, to avoiding a large amount of Hammer Brothers and killing off to 3 Boomerang Brothers to get to the end. The pulling star section with electric labyrinth lines going across trying to electrocute you. There's a cloud section where you have to avoid more electric fields. And overall, yeah, this is just one big long level with a lot of obstacles that you have to go through without getting hit a single time. So that is why the Grandmaster Galaxy is the hardest galaxy in the game for me. I know typical pick, but overall, you know, there's really not much other galaxies that I thought were difficult in Galaxy 2 compared to Galaxy 1. For Mario 3D Land, this is going to be just one level, because this is by far the easiest Mario game, and there's not really anything particularly difficult about it to me. So I'm going to choose the final level to be S8 Crown. So S8 Crown is pretty much like Perfect Run, but you're going through a different obstacles and whatnot. But the difference is the Perfect Run you cannot get hit at all, but in this level you can go in through with power-ups, and also it still isn't that difficult of a level. But overall, you know, 3D Land is definitely, you know, the easiest 3D Mario game, so that is why I decided to choose simply one level, since 3D Land, I didn't think there was a single area that I thought was excruciatingly difficult. So moving on to 3D World. For 3D World, it is going to be World Crown. Reason being is that World Crown was similar to 3D Land. I didn't think there was really anything like particularly you know, super difficult as far as areas go, but 3D World's hardest area is definitely World Crown, due to the fact that it has a mystery house that is very annoying. The Captain Toad level, not so much, and it also has Champions Road. Now, I've already talked about Champions Road in the past, but Champions Road, it's in a way like Perfect Run. You're going through different obstacles and all that. I still think Perfect Run is harder, but Champions Road is still very difficult in the fact that you still have to go through a whole lot of obstacles in the game, and you know, you have to avoid not dying. And the mystery house, it is like, I think it's like 30 green stars that you have to go through in one loop, and this can take quite a while to get done or get through with. So, you know, that is why World Crown is the hardest area in the game. Again, nothing really special, but I think that, you know, it has Champions Road, which is the hardest level in the game, and also has the hardest mystery house in the game. So it would make sense to be World Crown. But yeah, overall 3D World, I still don't think it's particularly too difficult, but World Crown definitely took me quite a bit of tries with the mystery house and a lot of tries with Champions Road. Now, moving on to Mario Odyssey. This is a 3D Mario game that I thought was very disappointing when it came to difficulty. The game is good. But, you know, still, I think that Mario Odyssey just didn't have, you know, the difficulty that the Galaxy games established, or even comparing to 3D World, you know. But there was only like one final level that I could say was kind of difficult, and that is Darker Side, the Darker Side Kingdom, where you get unlocked by getting 500 moons in the game, and I got it pretty fast since Odyssey was pretty much the only thing I played for like a whole week straight. The only thing I played was Odyssey. Like, that was the only thing I played for a week, so it wasn't that hard to get 500 moons for me. But the Darker Side Kingdom is not difficult at all. Honestly, it's not difficult in the slightest, comparing to, you know, Champions Road or the Perfect Run. But by Odyssey, Darker Side is definitely the hardest level. It's also, I think, one of the longest levels in the game. There's a lot of obstacles that you have to go through. There's the lava section in the beginning. There's a lot of lava in this level. There's the frog section at the end. There's the gliding section with a glide on. And yeah, overall, I do think it's a nice little level, but I don't think it should be a final level, or I wouldn't even really like, you know, difficult. So that is why Darker Side is the hardest level in Odyssey, due to the fact that there's not really that much difficult moons to collect, or areas in this game overall. And yeah, there you guys have it. That is the hardest area in Super Mario, in the 3D Mario games. Those are the hardest areas overall. So yeah, let me know in the comments what were the areas in the game or stars that you thought were the most difficult throughout going through the games. And also, yeah, like I said in a community post, let me know if you guys have any ideas for videos or anything that you all might want to see, because I have had kind of a lack of motivation, not really to completely stop, but not really to post often. And I do want to post often, but I don't really have any like ideas as of right now, like too much ideas. I do have some ideas that I am going to make into videos, but I still need more ideas to make, since, you know, I want to grind out, push out videos more. So yeah, just let me know what you guys think for ideas in the comments. Anyways, with that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you for the support, and I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that will be. Peace out.